What's up, everybody, and thanks for tuning in to another episode of Between
the Cons.
the Cons.
I was helping.
My name is Chris, and with me today, the Outlaw Steve Jr.
That's me. I'm the guy that interrupted you. Bang, 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 bang.
And the Ginger Giant. You can barely hold yourself together that time. Like, that's
waiting
how you
for
know.
it.
That's how you know that you have the worst intro, because you get so giggly beforehand that by the time you have to actually do it, you can barely do it.
That's right. That was not my best.
Oh, man. Anyways, thanks,
I thought
everybody.
it was good.
Thanks, everybody, for tuning in today. Thanks, everybody that's hit us up on the internet this week. Everybody that's left a review on the iTunes Store, the Google Play Store, that kind of stuff. Appreciate ya.
Wait, do you do that thing with your hands every time? Do you
Every single time.
Oh, every time.
What you guys can't see at home is that Kyle is doing a T-Rex kind of motion towards the microphone.
Yeah. I shorten my elbows into my side like a T-Rex would, and just like attack the microphone.
It's beautiful.
It is beautiful.
Let's see if I can let's take a video, put it on our Instagram.
Throw it up right after this.
Here we go. Oh no! Do it again. All right, one more time. Yeah, there you go.
There it is. You got like 7 roars in this episode already. It's gonna be a good one.
It's a lot of roars.
What?
I feel like Katy Perry every time I do it too.
All right, I just wanted to make sure the video worked. Anyways,
With the amount of audio problems we have,
right, with
my episode's not airing all the time.
yeah,
Oh my god.
the last two episodes you did, 2 episodes Dane did, all really good episodes.
Yeah.
None of them salvageable, but this one is salvageable, as you can tell because you're listening to it.
Yep.
And we are reviewing Spider-Man: Homecoming. So let's go ahead and do that segue.
Aunt May dies.
Chewie, we're home. Live long and prosper.
We don't need roads.
We'd like to shoot the monster. Could you move, please?
In the comics.
Anyways, we are talking about Spider-Man: Homecoming today. For those of you that don't know, it came out this weekend. And for those of you, furthermore, that don't know what Spider-Man: Homecoming is, it's a Spider-Man movie. It takes place several months after the events of Captain America: Civil War. Peter Parker, with the help of his mentor, Tony Stark, tries to balance his life as an ordinary high school student in Queens, New York City. I feel like that's a little bit redundant. While fighting crime as his superhero alter ego Spider-Man, as a new threat, the Vulture, emerges. Movie's doing pretty okay. It's got a 8.2 on IMDb, a 73 Metascore, and a 93% certified fresh on the Tomatometer.
Yeah.
Over there at Rotten Tomatoes. And
Ranker has it as the best Spider-Man movie ever made.
who does?
Ranker.
Oh,
Cool.
I would agree with that. But it's also been a long time since I've seen the first, like the Tobey Maguire ones.
Spider-Man 2 was really good, but I don't know that this.
Yeah.
I don't know that it would beat this one. Anyway, we'll probably get into that
Yeah.
as we talk about the details of it.
Well, let's really quick talk rank. What do you guys rank it? Ginger Giant?
Yeah, I gave it a 9.
9.
Honestly,
Big number.
Loved it. Highest I've ever scored anything on this. So, yeah.
Except for Lego Batman. You
Except
also
for
scored Lego Batman a 9
as well. Yep.
They're
I love having
comparable.
this.
Comparable movies.
I love having
Yeah.
this spreadsheet. It gives me fun, stupid information like that. Steven, what about you?
I gave it 8.8 shotgun shells.
8.8 shotgun shells. I'm just
Bang,
going to give
bang,
it
bang.
8.8 points.
No, you type it. Type it. Type it.
The formula only works for numbers. And then I'm going to give it a 9.5.
Nice.
Mainly because I'm a huge Spider-Man fanboy. And this was just an excellent movie.
It was.
And that is the highest I've rated anything on this show.
Yeah. Yep.
And with the exception of a handful of people for Logan, it's the highest anything's been rated on the show.
Yep.
Logan got 4 9.5s.
I would have given it that if I was here for that episode. I didn't see it until like 2 weeks ago.
But Logan is the highest, still remains the highest thing we've reviewed on the show at a 9.3. But Spider-Man: Homecoming comes in and takes a close second at 9.1 average score out of Between the Cons. Excellent movie, excellent
film.
Score.
Yeah.
And this, I mean, we rated it pretty well too.
Yeah, we did great.
Excellent.
Good job, everybody. Good job,
excellent
guys.
Score. I said excellent score, and we rated it good too.
Yep.
Because
Am I allowed to say Dutch rudder? Am I allowed to say that?
anyways, now that we've gotten the score out of the way, let's do love it's and hate it's. So, Ginger Giant, pave the way, good sir.
Sweet.
So now is the time. If you have not seen the movie and you do not want it spoiled, stop here.
So I think the thing that stands out to me the most is Peter, is Tom Holland and his performance in the movie. I feel like the movie itself felt much more like a high school film.
Yep.
And I guess I'm comparing that to the Tobey Maguire movies where he always just feels 31 years old to me. Like, even though he's playing a high school character, he plays like a 31-year-old playing a high school character. That's just the way it always looked to me.
Like Degrassi.
Yeah, exactly. Drake up in here playing a high schooler. Yeah.
Hey man, Drake got shot in Degrassi.
Yeah, he did.
Don't bring that up, please.
He doesn't act anymore, as he says in many of his songs.
Yeah.
He still has music videos.
He does.
He still thinks he can rap. So
It's elevated music in my... What?
Whoa.
Anyway,
Whoa.
moving past that point, Tom Holland just I mean, was amazing.
Yeah, he did a great job.
He's a great actor, and he plays this high school character who's 15, conflicted, is a great, just sort of like almost punk high school kid who's really smart but wants to do his own thing too.
right, like a rebellious nerd.
Yeah, totally. And yeah, I just thought overall he was a great high school Spider-Man. Just as a little addendum to that too, I thought the actress Zendaya, who's like a Disney actress or something, she's also a singer. She plays this sort of reclusive character who doesn't get named until the last like 5 minutes. You don't know her name. It turns out she's the MJ character.
Yep.
I thought she was brilliant. Like she had the scenes she was in, she stole the show. Like she was hilarious. It was
Really dry.
Really dry. She was, sort of held back almost, but it was a perfect amount of humor and good acting. And we'll definitely see her again in future Spider-Man movies. So, yeah, that was my love it. My hate it. So we knew Donald Glover was going to be in the movie, and I love Donald Glover. He was in Community, the show Atlanta.
Great.
Amazing. He's also a rapper under Childish Gambino. Love his music. His newest album is very different, but amazing, I think. We knew he was going to be in the movie. He's been, around the Spider-Man atmosphere for a long time, in the Spider-Man atmosphere.
Right.
And, he played this gangster who was trying to buy weapons from Vulture. And I just thought, like, I either wanted a lot more or I didn't want that actor to be Donald Glover.
Yeah.
I thought that, like, I don't know, he could have just been more authentic. But there were scenes that he showed up in that I didn't know how he knew the information he knew. Like, I didn't know how he knew where the weapons were going to go. And maybe that's just implied because he's sort of in cahoots with the bad guys and is buying.
He's like a buyer.
He's going to buy, but like the first scene that we see him in, he's only trying to buy one gun. It doesn't play out to me as a viewer, meaning like that's a long-standing relationship. I don't know.
Yeah.
I had high hopes for his character and I was sort of let down. That's the only reason I wouldn't have given it a 10 is that point. But That, I mean,
But they did
hard
do-
movie to hate on.
They did do, yeah. Yeah, and I think that we're all going to be a little nitpicky with our hate-its. But I think the cool thing about Donald Glover was that they set it up to kind of call back to himself.
How do you mean?
So he plays, in the movie, he names himself, and he plays the uncle of Miles Morales,
Right.
who is the Ultimate Spider-Man who Donald Glover voiced in the Ultimate Spider-Man animated show. So I thought that was really neat, and that was a deep cut fan service
for sure.
But I thought that was really cool. But I agree, seeing him was really cool. It was
Sure.
cool to see him.
Whenever he's on screen,
It was-
it's like, yeah,
it
I want
was
more of him.
Like I definitely see where you're coming from with like, how did he know where they were going to be?
That's like
if
a major
he was
plot
just
point.
like trying to buy a gun.
Is it like a major?
Well, I
that's
think-
that's how Spider-Man got to that ship.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Steve.
I think also it was interesting that they showed him, because ultimately he's going to play Prowler, right? Or at least that's who his character is, the Prowler, which is one of the big team ups with Spider-Man. And they reference it when they show when Karen shows his priors or whatever, kind of in the bottom right corner it says the Prowler. So I think for him to have a short amount of time and then to have more screen time later is an interesting move.
Sure.
Um,
And that's something we
I'm
can only
not-
appreciate when we get a second movie and he's in it, right?
Yeah, exactly. I think in retrospect it'll be cooler than it is maybe currently.
Sure.
But he did have one of the best lines of the movie with the ice cream thing.
Yeah.
I got ice
man-
cream here.
Man, I got ice cream in here. Nope, you're a bad person. He's like,
Nope, you're a bad person.
no, you're a bad person, man. No.
Awesome.
That'll dissolve in 2 hours.
I got ice cream in here, man.
Come on, man. I got ice cream in here.
So, Steven, what about you?
Yeah.
Love it and hate it.
Well, I'll start with my hate it / secondary hate it, because they are so nitpicky. The film was so great. Generally speaking, I don't like
General Lee
reveal.
speaking.
Hi, I'm General Lee speaking. I don't like
How much, mother?
Yep.
Yeah.
I don't like family-oriented reveals very much. So when we find out that the love interest is the daughter of the Vulture, it felt tedious to me. In that moment, it sets up for a much better moment, but it felt real cheap for just a second. Obviously offset by the wonderful performance Michael Keaton gave
Yeah.
throughout the film. And then the complimentary terrifying scene that immediately follows that scene.
Yep.
And then also-
sequence of scenes, like even in the kitchen, it was terrifying.
Yeah, it
like,
was
Michael
really
Keaton doesn't
tense.
know at that point, but once they get it, I mean, I'll let you talk about it. But like that whole next 10 minutes was rough.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it was really well written, intense. My other minor hate it because I don't care. I didn't like Ned very much. Ned, right? The
Yeah,
friend.
Ned.
I didn't like him very much.
Chubby buddy.
But yeah, but it wasn't his fault. He just played a character that I hate most of the time. He played the friend that just found out that his friend's a superhero, so he asked a bunch of annoying questions. And I was telling you guys off air, like, as movie attendants, we're like cool about it because we knew this was going to happen. It's like, yeah, he's Spider-Man. You're being kind of a dork right now. You know, we're totally cool with this.
It's a little bit of a stretch that he blurts that out in gym class when like the love interest.
Peter
whatever-
knows Spider-Man.
Peter knows. What? Oh,
Yeah.
It escaped. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Stuff like that. Also, the earshot of those two in that particular scene is incredible.
Very. Yeah. Tunnel hearing
But yeah, both of them were
in
able
a
to
noisy
hear.
gymnasium.
He's
Yeah,
got
where
spider
people are-
ears though. So
Ned
Oh,
doesn't.
cool. Well, he did by proxy because he was holding Spider-Man's feet.
Yeah,
While
there it
they
is.
were while he
There
was
it is.
doing sit-ups.
So
yeah.
he could feel the vibrations of his hair
Yeah,
through his hands.
exactly.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
like Meteor Man. Meteor Man, when he touches a book, he can know everything that's in that book. I am confused. What are we talking about?
I don't remember.
My love it. Okay. Let's see. I think my love it for this, I don't know, man. The script was so good. It's hard to really pick out moments. I think my favorite part of the movie is what we were talking about earlier, Chris, about how the Vulture, his whole character and arc, it was so realistic, and without all the sci-fi and fantasy elements of
Right.
alien materials and whatever. But so he was a junker, he was junking the old tower.
Cleanup crew.
Yeah. Yeah, he was a scavenger, and then kind of through a
Hissy fit.
thicketed path, he becomes the Vulture. And I just thought, like, the way that kind of navigated itself was really interesting, and I thought it was really smart. But I see you writing, so I obviously ruined your life.
Oh no, you didn't. I thought of what I want my actual hate it to be.
Oh yeah.
Is it my turn?
Yeah, please go for it.
Yeah. I also loved that, like, the Vulture. It's very rare that you see in comics a character get his name, especially a villain, for anything more than what his suit looks like. So I thought that was cool that he was like
Multiple elements to
yeah,
that.
he was
yeah.
a scavenger. He had the Vulture suit, therefore he was a Vulture.
Shocker has like a shocker punch.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
the little fist thing.
Also, it was shocking that the Tom Hardy lookalike character, whatever the actor's name is, with the beard, the first
Yep.
Shocker,
Uh-huh.
that he died. That's a pretty.
And somebody else took Shocker
he's not a
on.
negligible actor.
Yeah.
He's been in things before.
Right.
He's not a huge name dude or
No,
whatever.
yeah.
But the guy that ultimately takes the Shocker thing from him, I've never seen him before. That's not a knock on him.
I've seen him around.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, I'll go now with my hate it. So my hate it, I had one before we were actually started recording. We were talking, and my hate it was that the suit has everything. But I had a real hate it that I said yesterday to Michael Ann as soon as we got out of the movie. But I'll expound on the suit has everything. The suit in Spider-Man Homecoming, it came from Tony Stark. So it's got all the features of, like, everything Spider-Man. It's got the rapid fire, it's got the web grenades, it's got everything awesome about the suit eventually in Spider-Man. It even has, like, the Terminator scan a bad guy thing to it. Or RoboCop, not Terminator. I didn't like that, because I think one of the coolest things about Spider-Man is that throughout all of Spider Time, he has been, like, his suit has revolved around him adapting to something he can't overcome.
Yeah.
And I think that's one of, at least in my opinion, that's, like, the coolest thing about Spider-Man is, like, when he needs to shoot, like, a bunch of little, like, web bullets really fast, he modifies his suit to be able to do that.
Yeah.
He doesn't just already have it because he's like, I might need this. Like,
He's a little bit too much like Iron Man.
He's a 15-year-old kid.
Yeah.
Like, he doesn't know what he needs. So I kind of hate that the suit has everything. I did think it was really cool that Jennifer Connelly played Suit Lady, aka Karen, because Jennifer Connelly is married to
Yeah.
Reese.
No. The Vision.
What's his name?
Paul.
Paul Bettany.
Paul Bettany. Yeah, married to Paul Bettany. So the Vision basically came out of Jarvis, which was the voice of... of Iron Man's suit.
That's funny.
And the voice of Spider-Man's suit is done by Jennifer Connelly, who in real life is married to Paul Bettany.
That's really funny.
Which is really cool. Also, I was thinking of Reese Fonz, who played the soccer player, like field goal kicker in The Replacements. I know he's been in a lot better roles since then, but I love The Replacements, so please don't knock on me. But anyways, the real hate it that I had at the very beginning, there was the opening scene that was like right after the event, the first Avengers movie. You see Michael Keaton's character doing the cleanup crew stuff, and then come to find out the Department of Damage Control has bought everything out. They're in charge. He loses his job. Whatever. And then it does the Marvel Studios intro with the Spider-Man theme score. And then it goes to this handmade cell phone video montage that Peter Parker put together.
Yeah.
None of that flowed for me. Like,
That was a little disconnected at the beginning.
it was very disjointed. I did not like the Spider-Man theme with the Marvel Studios.
Oh, you didn't like that?
I didn't like it with the Marvel Studios like thing happening, because that little like reel has music that is made for it.
Yeah.
And it just
Well, sure.
it felt super uncomfortable. Like it did not feel right. And then having it in there instead of at the very beginning, which is, at least from what I recall, where it usually is. You have like the Marvel thing at the
There's
very
not
beginning.
like an intro and then the credits and then
It's not like the opening credits like of a TV show.
right.
So like where you get like the first 45 seconds where there's a funny joke, and then the opening credits, and then the show actually starts.
Yeah.
So it felt really disjointed to me. I love it though. I loved the villains. The two main villains, and I say that because Spider-Man had a villain and Peter Parker had a villain. Spider-Man's villain, obviously, Michael Keaton as the Vulture. And then Peter Parker's villain was Flash Thompson.
Yeah.
And
The
like,
DJ.
the classic, like, cocky, preppy, smart kid,
Rich kid, like, jerk from high school. But the thing about it is Flash Thompson in the comics, like, they crushed it. Right.
Like, they nailed that character perfectly. And, like, the most interesting thing to me was there were two moments that I called the shining moments for the villains. One was, and basically, like, where they showed their true colors. With Michael Keaton, it was prom night when Peter Parker shows up to the house and he's like, you see just how psychotic he is because he's like happy-go-lucky, totally normal family man, and then like immediately switches, like pulls a gun on a 15-year-old, like tells him in the backseat of the car, I will murder you
in the parking lot of a high school.
Right. Yeah. And then for Flash Thompson, it was kind of the opposite, where he shows his true color. Because he's a high school bully, he's like spineless.
Yeah.
Like he does that because he has his own insecurities. And the scene in the Washington Monument when the elevator starts to fall and he pushes like
A couple of the girls away.
A couple people out of the way to get himself out. And not only that, but hands someone the trophy first. And says, take my trophy.
Yeah.
My trophy. That everyone on the team won together.
And that he was like...
He was an alternate.
Yeah. That's the word I was looking for.
He only participated because Peter Parker didn't. He was out saving
and he
the
wasn't
day.
supposed to because Peter showed up for the bus.
Right. Yeah.
Like there was that spineless comment is perfect because even though he was a bully, he wasn't the like dominating one that, you know, had this like zenith point where he just got toppled. He like made fun of Peter throughout it, but he was also shown up multiple times throughout the whole thing. Like, I thought they did that really great. Even that sort of alluded to my favorite part about the whole movie is that it's this high school a very real vision of what high school is like.
Yeah, and that's the one thing. That's why I call it their shining moments, is because with Michael Keaton, you see him like losing his cool pretty regularly through almost every time he appears up until The Family Man. And then with Flash Thompson, it's kind of the other way around. Like, he's like calm, cool, and collected, and he's just ripping on Peter Parker constantly throughout the movie. And it's just like, man, this kid sucks. He is relentless. And then it gets to that point, and it's just like, okay, he's a spineless, yellow-bellied coward. Like, he just pushed 2 girls out of the way to save himself on an elevator. And I thought that was really, I thought that was really, really, really well done. And it added that like extra little twist of hatred for both of those characters. But I also thought it was really cool that Flash Thompson's even in it. Just see how that shapes up in an eventual Spider-Verse kind of thing.
Sure.
So Donald Glover in Ultimate Spider-Man played Miles Morales, right?
Yep.
So in Ultimate Spider-Man, do you know who played Flash Thompson?
I had it up.
Tom Holland.
It's Dante Basco.
Really?
The guy who played... Yeah, it's Rufio.
That's awesome.
Isn't that awesome?
Oh, that's funny.
Rufy.
Oh!
What did you guys think of Shocker? Like the Bokeem Woodbine Shocker.
I thought he did really well, but he was definitely upstaged.
Well, he had a difficult place to fit in.
I thought the Tinkerer was really good too.
Yeah, he was good.
Yeah.
I don't know. I didn't like that they switched the Shockers in the middle of it.
I did. I thought it was a nice touch because it kind of added to the fact that Michael Keaton was crazy. Like, he saw these people as expendable.
Uh-huh.
And on top of that, it at least from a huge comic book fan perspective, it's about the mantle and not necessarily the man.
Sure. Yeah, I think what I didn't like about it was that they were developing Logan whatever his name is, Logan Marshall Green's character to sort of foil Vulture.
Yeah.
And then, but they weren't building up Bokeem Woodbine's character until after that moment. Mm-hmm. So like all of a sudden we have to get used to this other new guy being a villain, even though he was around and he was the driver of the van and all that stuff.
But he was there, and the first Shocker was like kind of fast and loose. And
I thought that was a great foil to the very manipulative, psychotic Vulture.
Sure.
And so to have another that sort of like a screws loose in the organization of the villains, that made more sense to me than having this sort of like just tag along Shocker that didn't have a whole lot of personality.
Yeah, but you also have to think like what it did to the Vulture, like how it boosted the Vulture's character.
So that's the best part because
it accidentally
killed
disintegrated
him. And that was hilarious.
And no emotion,
none,
emotionless. Like
and that's the reason they did it. That's the reason they did it. It was to elevate the Vulture. Certainly. But I'm just talking like agnostic of that.
But it was rooted in that. It was rooted in the fact that he was the loose screw. He was the one that was going to cause problems. And he shot him with this thing. He disintegrated, and it's like, well, you're up. And it was just, it made him that much more terrifying because he was so psychotic.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I definitely see where you're coming from.
Yeah.
But I would make the argument that the way it went down added so much more.
Sure.
So, I guess what's next is what's next.
We got the Spider-Man will return message at the end of the movie. Right?
Yeah, this was like one of the first ones where it didn't say when they would return.
Right, yeah.
Like I even said out loud in Avengers Infinity War.
Yeah.
And then nothing popped up and I felt really dumb. But I was telling the Outlaw Steve Jr. before the episode, there was a recent interview kind of on the press junket for Spider-Man Homecoming, and it was Amy Pascal and Kevin Feige. And Amy Pascal was talking about Black and Silver, which is the Black Cat Silver Sable movie that's coming out, as well as Venom. Got asked a question about those, and she was like, yeah, well, they'll be a part of the MCU. And Kevin Feige looked at her just like, what? And then like had like a smile, like, and it was one of those things where it was like, either you don't know what you're talking about, we didn't agree to that unless you just did on camera, or you weren't supposed to say that. Why did you just say that? Now I'm just gonna smile. Either way, I think it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Because that opens up like Tom Hardy's Venom, the R-rated like psychological thriller to be an MCU film, but with Sony's name on it instead of Marvel, so they're not breaking their promise of never making an R-rated MCU film.
Right.
So I think that would be cool, but to see Eddie Brock that much older than Peter Parker is kind of strange.
Right.
If they are in the same film. Black Cat, Silver Sable, we've talked about it a handful of times on the show. I feel like it's a little bit of Sony's response to Harley Quinn and the upcoming Gotham City Sirens. It's two female, strong female characters in the Spider-Man universe. And then obviously Avengers Infinity War, we've got like 1,007 superheroes that are going to be in that one, or characters from the MCU that are going to be popping up in that one.
And some that won't survive that.
Part 1 and Part 2. Probably a lot that won't survive it. But I have a feeling Spider-Man's going to be one of those. I'm really glad they got someone...
That survives?
That survives.
Yeah.
I'm glad they got someone so young to play
Yeah.
Peter Parker, because it opens it up. You don't have that point where like he's going to start showing his age soon.
Yeah.
Like Tobey Maguire, pretty much like right after the Spider-Man movies, was like, man, he looks a lot older than he did 3 years ago in those Spider-Man movies.
I don't remember the last movie he made.
I don't either. But I'm really interested to see how the Sony Marvel deal keeps working. Basically, it's just Sony, or Marvel said to Sony, hey, let us make the movie. You keep all the rights. You put your name on it. We just make it. You produce it, distribute it, all that good stuff. So it's a really interesting deal. I'm curious to see how it's going to pan out, really. Outlaw, you're being awfully quiet.
Yeah, I'm kind of looking at how old Tom Holland is. So I didn't know he was 21. I also didn't know that he was British.
Oh yeah, he's super
that.
British. He was Billy Elliot. So
yeah,
He's like a ballet dancer. I watched this whole thing. He like took ballet for a really long time, and was a stage actor for a really long time.
Yep.
Yeah, I guess in Billy Elliot, which is
And
awesome.
Billy Elliot. Yeah.
So yeah, he's gonna look like a little boy forever. I think is what. That's what.
He's
That's
21
what
years old and he actually looks 15.
He's a little bit
Yeah.
like Tom Hiddleston. I mean, like Tom looks more like 38 now or whatever he is.
Oh, right.
But he sort of has that boyish. If he shaved,
Yeah.
he could pull off 25.
Oh yeah, just clean.
Yeah.
Just that baby face
Yeah.
clean. Oh yeah.
No, for sure. I think I'm pretty interested to see what happens with some of the things that we saw villain wise. I think if Donald Glover does come back as Prowler, he's going to come back initially as a bad guy because that's how that works
Yeah.
in the comics.
And the after credit scene set up Scorpion.
Oh, well, yeah, that's having Scorpion around would be pretty cool. I always thought his costume was a little over the top.
Really
so
nervous.
It's kinda,
That is
Yeah,
the one thing I'm super nervous about. But they did an excellent job with Vulture. So
yeah, they did. But a person with wings is a lot different, I think, than a person with a tail.
yeah, that's
And then you have the Tinkerer, who's still set up.
yep.
You have because the Shocker
Shocker.
didn't die, right?
Right.
Right. So yeah. So Herman Schultz, the second Shocker, is still around, and then you got Jamie Foxx. Right. He's gonna.
Nope.
Is he still coming?
Nope.
Is he still gonna be Electro?
Nope. No, he is not.
Andrew Garfield is gonna be a big enemy to Spider-Man.
What are you talking about?
Nah. But I'm excited to see. Nah. But I'm excited to see where those things go. I am a little disappointed that we don't get to see Spider-Man in that rad spider suit at the end.
Yeah.
The Iron Spider.
Yeah,
Like
the Iron Spider.
The knockoff
That
Iron Spider
suit
suit.
was sick.
Well, here's the
really-
thing. It's not like Tony Stark is going to destroy it.
Right.
Yeah.
Maybe that's the one he wears in Infinity War.
I wouldn't be surprised because
Well, it's the one he was supposed to wear in Civil War, so
There's
I'm
a
sure
lot.
it'll only be a couple movies behind.
right.
kinda
He
how-
wore it actually in the comics for Civil War. He wore the Iron Spider suit.
Yeah.
But there are a lot of really cool things about the Iron Spider suit, and I feel especially for the beginning, I'm really glad he didn't take it because for the beginning of like a new Spider-Man, even though we've seen Spider-Man pretty much our whole lives,
Every
on-
2 years for the
on
last
film.
15 years,
Yeah.
basically.
the Iron Spider, I still don't think the world's ready for the Iron Spider suit. Just because it is weird. It is a weird suit. It does a lot of things that like you just have to accept. Just you just have to be cool with
That's
it.
I'm naive. I'm ready to accept, though. I don't know anything about it.
But it's a really cool suit, and I think that with Tony Stark being more involved, like in Infinity War, it would be a much easier thing to introduce because it can be like a 5-minute scene where Tony Stark explains it, talks about it for a little bit, how they came about it, and then gives him the suit. And that's how he gets it. Instead of just like, now he has this suit that Tony just gave him as like a way to pass the test kind of thing.
Right.
So, yeah. I don't know. I think we're good. I think
Yeah.
we're good here.
Yeah. It's a great movie.
I'm-
Go see it.
I'm really excited to see Spider-Man again, which is something I've never said. So that's how you know it's good.
Because the show's pessimist is excited to see it.
I'm excited to see another one. Throw me another one. Especially if it's written by the same Freaks and Geeks guy.
Sign me up.
Oh. Yeah, super into it.
Dope. Well, that's everything for the show. Thanks to everybody for tuning in. Hit us up on the internet. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Let us know what you thought. What did you rate it? What did you love? What did you hate? Hopefully you watched it. If you haven't and you're still listening, go watch it. It's really good. Really good.
Really good.
But if you're interested in sponsoring the show, check out Patreon, Satchel, Amazon. Those are the ways to do it. Put any of those words after betweenthecons.com/. If you like our theme music, check out Ifixa or Coyote Kisses on YouTube, as they make our Roundtable theme. And then finally, just check out betweenthecons.com. It's a cool website. You can listen to all of our episodes online. You can link out to all our social media. Yep. Our social media sites.
Ooh, Moshel Cedia.
Social media.
We got a cool. We have a cool next episode of installment of Meet the Geek coming up.
Yeah.
Pretty soon.
Coming up soon.
Actually, somebody that contributed to this Spider-Man movie. So be looking out for that episode coming soon.
Cool.
Coming soon.
Hey, and we have the Kingsman review for next episode, right?
Yeah.
Or-
Yeah, that's a really funny one.
Let's get as much mileage out of that as we can.
Yeah, I forgot that the Kingsman 2 date got moved back, and I never updated it in our calendar. So a couple weeks ago, I sent out a text who would be interested in doing the roundtable, and it was pretty much a resounding, "You mean in September?" So that was great. And I even said it on I even said it on the show. It's like, we will be back on Monday with a review of Kingsman 2, which is not the case.
SMH.
There was some horribly disconnected person that was like, "But I want to know about my movie."
I haven't gone to see it yet, but I want to know if it's good to see. But yeah, thank you guys so much for tuning in. You guys have a great week, and we will catch you on Thursday.
See ya.
Bye, y'all. Bye. Get down or lay down. Hit you with the Beretta, you better stay down. Straight shots on the playground. Living how I'm living with the life that I'm giving anybody that's around with me. I'm riding with them. Show me the enemy, and I'm going to hit him the second I bit him. I get him. I hit him with the venom, and I need to pretend I'm going to never do it. I knew it. Already been through it. I do it for the street, for the fam, for the life, anybody that's gang related.